So now we can go with the new script. So every time you have to clear So since the time is very less, already I'm having the program. So listen. So here first I'm going to give the input as percentage. So percentage, it is denoted by PER. That is the first input. So first input is pass percentage, 90%, 100, 85, 97, and then 50. And this input, the first input is correspond to some value in the second input. What is our second input? Sections. So sections namely A, B, C, D, and E. So that means section A got 90%, B got 100%, C 85, D 97, E 50. So now we are having two inputs. First one is percentage, second one is sections. Now what is my aim? I have to draw a pie chart. So if you give this syntax PIE, immediately the syntax appears. So this is the syntax where we are having many number of additional arguments. So here we are having pi, x labels, edges, radius, clockwise, density, call, border. So we are having so many number of arguments. So according to our need and requirement, we can select these arguments. Now here I'm going to give the command as pi of PER sections. Now I'm going to draw a pie chart for these two inputs. Now let us see the result. I think you can view, even you can go for a zoom. So here, totally 5 sections are there, A, B, C, D, and E. So this is a very basic pie chart without any additional arguments. Suppose, if I want to enhance the colors to each slice, in order to differentiate them, I can go for the argument border. So border is used to give the color. Let us run it. Now you can see the difference between the previous one and the existing one. So now the border is red in color. Next one is, I'm going to use the argument call, that is COL. So our input is percentage, second input is sections. I am going to draw a pie chart of, what is the syntax? Pi, percentage, first input, sections, second input, and the border. Here I have changed the border into steel blue. So various number of colors are there, you can use it. And I'm going to give that title is pass percentage. Okay, and the color is a rainbow. Okay, let us see the output. Now you can see these colors are so bright compared to the previous one. And the title also given as pass percentage. Okay. Now let me select the last command and run it. Clear the console. So the first input percentage, second one is sections. So here I have used this 5%. Suppose if you want to convert into percentage, we will go with the command 5%. So 5%, round off 100 star percentage, and main. So what is main? It is used to give the title. So I have given the title as overall performance and the colors given. And one more command is here. That is the legend top right. So let us see the output. Now you can see the difference between the previous one and this one. So each slice is labeled with a percentage: 23.7, 21.3, 11.8, 23, and 20.1. And color red denotes section A and purple denotes section E. So this is obtained by this syntax legend. Suppose if I change this top right into top left, suppose I am changing this top right to top left. Let us see the difference. So it is in the left side. Okay. Then the very important thing in pie chart is we can view the 3D view. We can view our pie chart in 3-dimensional. So for that, we have to install this Plotrix. Again, the same input, and here the syntax is pie 3D. Let us see the output. This is the 3D view of our pie chart. And this particular argument explode, which gives the distance between two slices. Suppose if I change this explode into 0.5, now let us see. So the distance between two slices were increased. So very interesting one. So according to your requirement, you can use any number of arguments to enhance your output. So that's all in the pie chart. So next one is bar chart. So bar charts are commonly preferred when we have to analyze a trend spread over a time period. So this type of chart is one of the more familiar options as it is easy to interpret. So in this image, you can see, so because in our day-to-day life, we are students, we are doing this one. Average time spent on smartphones daily. X-axis is labeled with time in minutes and Y-axis is labeled with activity. So what are all the activities? Taking photos, watching films, reading books in mobile, checking our mails, messaging, calls, playing games, music, social networks, and then internet. A bar chart is a pictorial representation where numerical values are represented by length or height. So this bar chart is used to summarize the categorical data. In bar chart, the data is shown through the rectangular bars. So this bar chart is used to compare things between different groups. So it is created using the bar plot function. So syntax is bar plot. So what are all the arguments? Height. Height is a vector or matrix containing numeric values. Xlab. This one is used to label the x-axis. So in the previous diagram, we have labeled the x-axis with time. Then ylab. Ylab is used to label the y-axis. So in this diagram, y-axis is labeled with activity. And main, as in the pie chart, it is used to give the title of the bar chart. And this names.arg, it is a vector of names appearing under each bar. So apart from that x-axis, this particular argument is used to name each bar. Then call is the same as in the pie chart, used to give colors to the bars in the graph. So let us try this bar chart. So here the input is V, input vector is V, and the values are 14, 25, 32, 15, 14. So this is the input value. Now I am going to draw a bar plot of this input. Let us see the result. So this is a very basic bar plot for our given input. Next, suppose if you want to give two number of inputs. So our input B is, it is 100, 150, 225, which denotes the number of students passed out in each year, which is our second input, that is denoted by Y. So in the year 2011, 100 number of students were passed out. In 2012, 150 number of students passed out. Finally, in 2015, 450 number of students passed out. So what is the syntax? Bar plot of our input V, and x-axis is labeled with year. It should be labeled with year. Y-axis is passed out students. And this call, it is used to give colors to each bar. I have selected as red. And I'm going to give a title to this chart. For that, a main argument is used. And the title is passed out chart. And the border is green. Just save it and run. So you can see each bar is filled with red color and the border is green. And the x-axis is labeled with year, y-axis is passed out students. Okay. So even we can enhance this bar chart by giving this particular argument a density. So here our input vector V, title is passed out chart, x-axis here, y-axis passed out students, border is red and color is blue, and density is 30. Now let us see the result. So we can see the difference between this bar chart and the previous one. Suppose this density is changed into, instead of 30, suppose I am giving 50. Let us see the difference. You can see the difference. So here, each bar is filled with some colors. And one more interesting thing is, here we are selecting the colors as yellow, orange, and purple. And months, March, April, May, June, July, and regions, East, West, and North. Now you can see the difference. Under each bar, the month is displayed. March, April, May, June, July, and the x-axis, it denotes month. Y-axis is revenue. So using that legend top right, it is appearing in the right side. Suppose if you give top left, it will be changed. So our next graph is box plot. So this box plot shows 5 statistically significant numbers: minimum, maximum, in between, median, and then 25th percentile, 75th percentile. So this box plot function takes any number of numeric vectors. So it is useful in comparing the distribution of data across data sets. So the syntax of box plot is box plot. X is a vector or a formula. Data is a data frame. Notch, it is a logical value. So every one of you know logical value, it is either true or false. So we have to set it as true to draw a notch, and var width, that is also a logical value, set as true. Names are the group labels which will be printed under each box plot. And we know main is used to give a title of the graph. So let us clear the console. So here the input is a range of numbers ranging from 5 to 50. Suppose if I give the command as print of x, the numbers will be displayed starting from 5, 6, 7 up to 50. Okay. So for this particular range of values, suppose if I want to draw the box plot, I have to give the command as box plot of x, which is the input, and we have to set that notch is equal to true. So this is the diagram, and you can save this image either in the form of JPG, PNG, BMP, and you can give your own file name. You can change the width, you can change the height, and you can save it. Suppose if you are giving two number of inputs, namely x and y. So x is in the range 5 to 50, y is in the range 55 to 100. Now we have to draw the box plot for these two inputs. So we can see the output, and even we can use the argument call. There is color, for example. So we can enhance our output. Okay. So that's all in the box plot. So the next one is histogram. So a histogram breaks up the whole range of values in a variable into bins or classes. So this is a histogram. It is basically a plot that breaks the data into bins. So a histogram represents the frequencies of values of a variable, and each bar in the histogram represents the height of the number of values. The very important thing is the difference between the histogram and bar graph. So the difference is in bar graph, there will be a gap between each bar. So it is easy to identify. There are gaps between bars in bar graph, but in histogram, the bars are adjacent to each other. Now you can see the bars are adjacent to each other and there is no gap. So this is the syntax of a histogram. P is the vector, main is the title, xlab is the x-axis, description of x-axis. And the new thing here is xlim and ylim. It is used to specify the range of values in x-axis and y-axis. And this breaks is used to mention the width of each bar. Let us move on to the RStudio. A very basic histogram. Clear the plot window. So what is the input vector? F is the input vector. Now we are going to draw a histogram for this input ranging from 62 to So it starts at 60 and ends at 100. Okay. So in our programming, there are so many built-in data. So from that data also, we can draw the histogram. And an example for that one is temperature. So here, histogram of this temperature. So what is the first one? The syntax is hist. Okay, temperatures is that is our input. We have given the title as maximum daily temperature at LaGuardia Airport, and the x-axis is labeled by temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, and x-lim is 50 to 100 only. So the range is 50 to 100, and the color is dark blue, frequency is false. So the next thing is you can give this breaks. So let us see the purpose of this break. So after this 80 to 100, there is no bar. So that is the importance of this particular argument breaks. Okay. So this is the difference between bar graph and histogram. In histogram, there is no gap between the bars, whereas in bar graph, a gap will be there. So the next interesting graph is line graph. So line graph, a line chart is a graph that connects a series of points. So this is almost a graph which we have studied in the school itself. So a line chart is a graph that connects a series of points by drawing line segments between them. So the plot function in R is used to create the line graph. So these are all images of a line graph. And the syntax is plot. B is the input vector. Here, the argument type. Suppose if you give this type is P, it will draw only the points. If you give it as L, only lines will be drawn. And O means it will draw both points and lines. Then remaining are, as usual, X lab, Y lab, main and call. Let's clear the console and then plot window. So it's a very basic plot. So if you give this command print, the values will be displayed 1 to 10. You can see the points are connected by the lines. And the color is also given as blue. So next the input value is 50, 45, 80, 65, 100. So here I have given the type is O. So O means both lines and then points. Then x-axis is labeled with month and y-axis is labeled with rainfall. So here we can take a two number of inputs. This is another example. So the inputs are V and T. So a comparative graph between two inputs. Weather forecast. Okay. So x-axis is month, y-axis is labeled with rainfall. So the next thing is, here we are selecting two vectors, x and y. And here I have given the type as yes. If you give the type as yes means the lines will be drawn like this. So that's all in the line graph. Then finally scatter plot. So scatter plots show many points plotted in the Cartesian plane. Each point represents the values of two variables. So this is an example of scatter plot. This is the syntax. Inputs X and Y, title, XLab, YLab, XLim, YLim, and then axis. So scatter plot. So from the R programming itself, I have taken a data input of, what is my input? Empty cars. And the input is weight and miles per gallon. Now we are going to draw a scatter plot for this particular input. Let us see the result. So this is the scatter plot. Even you can give colors. So according to our requirement, we can select any number of arguments in order to enhance our output. So a good data visualization should communicate a data set clearly and effectively by using graphics. So far we have seen how many number of graphs? Pie chart, bar chart, box plot, histogram, line graph, and then scatter plot. So we have seen 6 number of graphs, and each graph is having a different syntax and a set of arguments. So if you know the difference between these graphs, you should know when to use pie charts. So pie charts are probably better than any other visual for expressing a part to whole relationship. So when you hear percent of, otherwise part of, that is the indication to use the pie chart. Then when we have to use the box plot, when we have a continuous variable split by a categorical variable, and if you want to compare the distributions of a continuous variable for each category, and when we have to use the bar chart. So if we have the comparative data that we would like to represent through a chart, so bar chart will be a best one. And box plot is used to help the distribution of quantitative values in the field. And histogram. So when we have to use the histogram, whether a process change has occurred from one time period to another. To determine whether the outputs of 2 or more processes are different. Then line graphs. So line graphs are used to track changes over short and long periods of time. So when smaller changes exist, line graphs are better to use than bar graphs. So the thing is, you should know the difference between these graphs, and it is clear that this field is rich in potential applications. At the same time, we need to be aware of its practical and ethical complexities. So there are plenty of websites and online resources that easily take you through the packages, either using their official documentation or personal contributions. So the goal is to enhance the data through design, but our goal should be, we have to enhance the data through design and not draw attention to the design itself. So once you understand the differences between these graphs, it is one of the most incredible tools that open source R has to offer. Finally, who are using R? Google is using R to calculate returns on advertising campaigns. And Facebook is also using R for updating the status and social network graph. Microsoft that is using R for machine learning framework. Twitter is using for its statistical data modeling, and Ford Motors for their statistical analysis, they are using R, and Mozilla to visualize the web activity of the Firefox web browser. So these things we are using in our day-to-day life, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter. Now I think you know the importance of R programming. So you do not have to go through any special education to learn R. Some resources, you can make a note of it. Some resources for learning basics of R, like Code Academy, Data Quest, or for data education, or studio education, and greatlearning.in. So very basic tutorials are available. So the practice is a very, very important one. So if you understand programming language, it becomes easier and faster to learn R. So as we are all mathematicians, we'll have this basic knowledge in statistical and mathematics. We can start coding with real world problems. And these are the highly paid job roles in the market: data analyst, statisticians, and data scientist. So learning any programming language is a kind of like learning a second language. So here a lot of things were given. This list is just the tip of the iceberg. Thousands and thousands of companies hire people with R skills. So R programmers can expect a very bright future. So knowledge in R not only helps you to secure a job, but also opens a door to several other opportunities where data is used at a large scale. So in healthcare, banks, education, financial sector, government departments. So finally, I conclude my session with this proverb. A philosopher says, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. So you please trying these programs by yourself. So thank you one and all. I wish all the students to have a very bright future. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I wish to thank Dr. N. Ramila Gandhi ma'am for her great job. Students, if there is any queries or that? Okay. If there is any queries?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Actually, no such queries on my part. The presentation was really wonderful, and you have just given all the glimpses of how we are going to use R programming in representing the data, so that you can make even the analysis part from the data visualization. So it made very easier, ma'am. So the session was really fruitful to everybody. And on behalf of Arnanandar College, I register my sincere gratitude for sparing your wonderful time amidst us. And Mr. Menakese, your busy schedule, you have been sparing your wonderful time with us. So I think that the student community might be greatly benefited by this sessions, especially. So thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Great presentation with a lot of specific and helpful information on the topic of data visualization in R. Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. S. Ramachandran sir, HOD, Department of Mathematics, GTN Arts College, Autonomous, Dindikal, to give a vote of thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Respected teacher and our department dean, Madam Professor N. Shakuntala, Madam, and dear colleagues of my department, Dr. C. Subramani, Dr. J. Kaligarani, and Dr. P. Pandiyammal. She is a convener of this particular 3-day first phase workshop between Allahabad College and my own college on behalf of our department. And I wish to give thanks to the today's resource person, Dr. Ramila Gandhi of PSNA College of Engineering and Technology from the Department of Mathematics. First, I wish to say something regarding the new education policy. The new education policy says that further 2 decades should be ruled by the 3 major things. 1, data analysis. 2, machine learning. 3, artificial intelligence. These 3 are the main things which is going to rule this particular world next 2 decades. So they are very in particular about, it is very in particular that CBSE is now ready to prepare portions for 8th standard student to the 10th standard students to give some important things on data science. They wish to add data science as another one more subject for the learning community. So we must know the importance of this particular data science. Such a data science and data analyst can be learned through such lectures, and we made such an initiative through this particular platform. So I wish each and every student should get gain regarding this particular session. Especially these 3 days, Dr. P. Pandiyammal, first day easily and dedicatedly explained about installation of R and R Studio. And second day, she particularized about some commands in R and operations in R. And today's session, Dr. Ramila Gandhi, Madam, she expressed everything in the beautiful manner and easily understandable to all the students and also the teaching community. So I wish thank you one and all presented today's function, and I wish and I thank all of you on behalf of our department and our college. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ramila Gandhi, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sir, Srinivasan, sir.
மேடம் என் பண்ணிடலாமா?
ஆமா சார், லைவ் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாம் சார். ஒரு சின்ன இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் மட்டும். Nivedha Martin, ma'am. Thank you. Nivedha Martin, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful completion of the success, ma'am. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.